Tell me what you want. Yes. Oh wow. Yes. It's so sweet 'cause I'm in love. Mhm. Come on in, join on in. Come on to the pre-concert or the pre-podcast where we are at the table. You know how they had a tiny room. We have a tiny table podcast concert. Get it? Yeah. So yeah. Would you bring my phone too? I can bring it in closer. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Who is it? Who is it? Enjoy your room. Hey y'all, hey. Mm. I don't know where you may be listening to this currently, what your location is. However, apparently it is a heat dome over some of the states, and Tennessee is feeling the heat. We are feeling the heat. The heat is on in Tennessee, in Memphis, Tennessee. And our daughter told us from New Orleans that the heat is on there too. So hopefully you're staying cool, that you are breezing through the summer in a real chillaxy kind of way, staying out the way, but also enjoying the summer days. So yeah, tell us where you are hailing from. That's funny. Because I was talking about heat and I said hailing from. Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, some of that. I say we good. Mhm. The lights. The lights, not the lights. Hilarious. It's okay. We gonna let it do what it do. Turn off the lights and light a candle. I don't know where that song came from. It is not a church song, but it's a We Married song. It's a We Married song. Be romantic song. Get over here song. Oh my. Oh, well now. Because it's going to distract you, ain't it? Dun, 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 dun. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Ooh, ooh, it's so sweet, like that, Patrick. Ooh, ooh.
welcome to another episode of His Wife, Her Husband.
I am Shamika, his
And
wife,
I am Patrick, her husband, and our purpose is to help you build
and sustain your
from a
marriage.
biblical perspective. We got it, we
We
did it.
did.
We ain't lost a
We
step.
ain't lost
We ain't lost a step.
nothing. Yeah.
Y'all give me a minute.
Give you a couple of minutes. Let's sit in silence. No?
You can introduce the journal if you want to. Nope. Okay. You don't want to?
No, sir. You think the algorithm gonna push us out?
I don't know. We gonna put it out there for people to be hoped. If they log on, they'll be hoped. If they don't log on, they can still get hope. Just probably won't be from this video. That's all.
At this time. I mean, it'll be this video, but not this. I got you.
All right, y'all. A couple of things. Number one, if you first of all, everyone who has purchased a journal, we want to say thank you very much for purchasing the His Wife, Her Husband.
We did a thing.
Okay, so but His Wife, Her Husband, Meaningful Marriage Journal. They are on sale. You can click the link below in the description box, and you can go on it. You can go on there and order your copy of the Meaningful Marriage Journal. It is an interactive journal. We have 21 days for you to look at. They have prayer prompts. I mean, it has prayer prompts, um, prayer together, exercise together.
Don't tell him all of it
um,
now.
encourage one another, communicate, date often. There are many topics that we talk about. We give scriptures, we give prayer prompts, we give engaging prompts for you to write in, just to think about, are you or are you being what you need to be towards your spouse so that you can have a meaningful marriage. So
Are you
please
adding meaning?
don't forget to go and get your. Don't forget to get yours. Download and not download. Click on the link below and get your meaningful marriage journal. And again. I know, but it is what it are. If I happen to leave, I want y'all to know, because y'all family, I have the BGs right now. So I made some homemade chili, um, the red beans, uh, ground turkey,
Kidney beans.
dark red kidney beans, ground turkey, and rotel tomato thing,
It's so good. Hey,
and then we did the Kroger's, not
it's
Kroger, Kroger's. You ever notice people say they go to Kroger, like where you go? I went to Kroger's. They always put the S at the end of Kroger's, as if they went to all three of them or all of the
all of
locations
'em,
located in their city. But and then you got the Kroger chili package. I was looking on the back of it because I think I want to make my own. I'm into this making our own stuff rather than uh, buying other people's stuff. So, but that's just who I are at this point. So, yeah. That's who I am.
right. I say the same thing.
That is not TMI. That is family. That's what family do. But no, I need to say that because if I'm gone for a while,
Oh wow.
if I got the BGs and I'm gone
The
for,
B what? Okay.
girl, please.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah. Anything else?
Hold it. Hold it.
I'm not holding. It's I'd rather let it out and be ashamed and hold it in and bust a vein. So, all right, here we go. So, we're going to talk about today about expectations and how those expectations can create conflict. There's a company called Preparing Riches, which is where Shamika and I went through to get our certification for marriage facilitators coach. And so we are going to, they had an article about it, and we are going to use that article as a prompt for our conversation for today. I feel like the cameras.
It's okay. don't go in
I'm one of
production.
those guys. Yeah,
Don't do that
I'm one of
today.
those
Let's
guys.
just let's
Listen. If you have not subscribed to our page, please,
channel.
help us with the algorithms and make sure you subscribe to the page. Also, share
Ah,
this video
share,
with a
share.
friend. Give us a thumbs up, a like, and all those things to help with the algorithm. Thank you so much, sis, with the algorithms. And let's get this message out. Your support that you give to us helps the message to get pushed out even further. We just do believe that we have value to add. We may not um, solve everything, but our hope is that in the process you'll be better in the end than you were in the beginning when you started with us. Amen. Amen. Amen again. All right, here we go. Here's the first thing. This is an article. I'm not pretty sure where they got the information from, but it's three types of expectations that cause conflict. The first one, I'm gonna read it out to you guys. The first one is unrealistic. So you have unrealistic expectations. And
Yeah.
this comes in marriage. It says, when it comes to marriage, having expectations can be healthy. They help to set a standard for what is or isn't acceptable and provide a baseline for holding yourself and each other accountable.
Mhm.
They have the potential to push us to be better partners and to grow as a couple. However, there needs to be a balance between aspirational and attainable. When they are too idealistic, you're bound to be disappointed. For example, if you go into marriage expecting nothing but romance and smooth sailing with nary, what is that? Nary a fight between you.
Never.
But that says
I
nary.
know, but
Nary. Somebody figure that out. But nary a fight
typo.
between you, chances are you're going to be let down. If you expect your spouse to always know what you need and never do anything that upsets you, they're inevitably going to fall short. Expecting perfection, whether from your spouse or yourself, I think that was a good part put in there, is simply not realistic. You're both human after all. So you have unrealistic expectations is the first expectation that causes conflict. Let's go.
And the reality is you can see where that could cause a conflict because in the mind of the spouse that have the unrealistic expectation,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, why you not meeting their need, or
Mm-hmm.
why you not meeting their want, why you're not giving their want, why you're not meeting their need, and so yeah, that'll cause a conflict or a frustration because now I'm blaming you for me not receiving what it is that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can say that when it comes to unrealistic expectations, that will be derived from um, one, looking at romantic movies, reading
Mm-hmm.
romance novels,
Mm-hmm.
dreaming about this idealistic or this unrealistic, excuse me, this unrealistic marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Even watching the letter P, if you grow up watching the letter P, the P word,
oh yeah,
in movies, you expect interaction with your spouse to be like this
uh huh.
setup that they've done.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. It's that is so true, and so it's again, it's unrealistic, um, and so if it, and when something is unrealistic, but you're expecting it still, and you don't get it,
Mm-hmm.
then the anger comes out. Then you react. You kind of if I could say you act out. You
Mm-hmm.
you start to respond. You begin to withhold, or you begin to react to what you're not getting.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just important for the I guess for spouses as best you can get premarital counseling or coaching
Mm-hmm.
so that you can find out the perspectives and what the expectations are so that that it can eliminate as many surprises and unrealistic things like that's not you know.
I would say even for some of the unrealistic, it's so good right here. Even for some of the unrealistic expectations come from seeing your. So let's say if your parents have a really good marriage and you've seen them work through, you'll go in with an unrealistic expectation, not knowing that when you were born, your parents worked everything out and then you came on the scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or it's just you're watching it. And I'm not saying that that we shouldn't look at successful marriages and gain clues from them, and we should. But when, I hate double dating. I really do. I
You
say it
really
all the
do?
time. No, yeah, I really
Like
do.
this? That's not a for fake
No, no,
thing.
no, 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 no. I say it jokingly, but I really do hate double dating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's something I thought that was just like a running joke.
No, 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 no. Because
Oh,
something in my heart makes me compete with the guy that's with his wife, and if he opened the door, especially like let's say we mad at each other that night, somehow we even made each other mad, and then we got to go on this double date, and he and his wife are all chummy chum chum, and then he opened the door for his wife. I don't feel like opening the door for you at that time, but I got to now because he opened the door for his wife, and so it just become this competition. If he gonna feed his wife with strawberries, now I gotta feed you. You know what I'm saying? With strawberries and chocolate. Like I gotta up it once. So, but anyway, expectations. So you're watching another couple, and again, success leaves clues that you can do certain things, but they have a different outlook on what you're doing. Even if I say, you know, I bring my wife flowers every night. All right, cool. And you want to bring your wife flowers every night. Okay, but your wife doesn't like flowers. And so now you have this, I heard, man, when I was going to the barber shop, you probably bring your wife flowers every night, young man. You know what I'm saying? Bring your wife flowers every night. Then you start bringing your wife flowers every night. She like it's just gonna die tomorrow. Why are you bringing me this thing? Then all of a sudden it get old and it smell like just a waste of time. Like now, but you have this expectation because he's saying
as somebody at the
this is
barbershop
what his
said.
wife is getting when the key from that or the clue from that is to be thoughtful towards your wife. But you don't have to bring her flowers. That's an
Well,
expectation.
yeah, I was getting ready. That's good because thoughtfulness can show up through other actions besides flowers.
Correct.
But what is often communicated or picked up is that she needs flowers. Well, that wife or whoever the person at the barbershop is dating or seeing, that's what that's what they deem as thoughtful. The wife get all goo goo all over the flowers, but then your wife may not find getting flowers thoughtful. She may find it as a waste. Well, in her the thoughtful action that may move her is for you to maybe have her a warm cup of tea ready. That's thoughtfulness. Every night I just make my wife tea. I'm just thinking because I think that um, I can see where if you don't pay attention to your spouse, you can drop the ball because the world say or it's often dictated this is the thoughtful act to do versus learning what's thoughtful to them and doing it regularly.
Right.
So
Yeah. Another thing I was thinking about in terms of, unrealistic. So if you're new, we're talking about unrealistic expectations in the marriage and how it can cause conflict. I was just thinking, as I say, so, so, da 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 da. You do something, and
we was
the
talking about
husband,
thoughtfulness and
thoughtfulness. You do something that is unrealistic. Oh. This is. I think that I got it from the article. Hold on. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Go ahead. Keep talking. Should give you guys something.
that's so funny. But yeah, I like how they brought up because there are different types of expectations, and I think that I know for me, I always thought, well, just stop expecting. Well, no, expecting is good, but it's when you face a disappointment that oftentimes, let me say you face a disappointment or a desire is deferred or it's something that's causing delay. It's like, it's just frustrating. Expectations can be so frustrating when you don't know that there are different types of expectations, that there's a such thing as unrealistic or unhealthy expectations. And then there are things that it's like, no, I have good esteem and I should expect you to do these things for me. And it's not to say I expect it and demand it. It's I expect it and I'm looking forward to it. I'm anticipating um,
yeah, and another.
things to be done.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. You. It's okay to anticipate an expectation. It is not fair to demand an expectation. Like, this is what I said, and you better do it. Like, wait a minute. That's going to automatically cause conflict, especially if that request comes at a tense time. You
Hmm.
know, if a spouse had maybe a bad day, or they may, I don't know. It's just they could be going through in their own personal time,
Right.
and then you put this unrealistic or demanding expectation on them. It's like, listen, I'm about to hit the roof.
Right.
I can't take it no more.
Yeah.
You getting on my nerve. It could be just a lot of
Yeah.
things.
And so I don't want people to look at it and think, because I just thought about, like, respect is a realistic expectation.
Yeah,
You should respect me. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
And love is love. Love
Right.
is a
I should expect
realistic.
it. And
From
if
my
I'm
spouse.
from my spouse, and if I'm not getting it, then there's a disconnect, and we should have an issue with that. The other thing I was thinking about, what they actually said in the article, was, if you have, so if you've never, so for me, let's go. I've never seen my mom and dad argue.
Okay.
Like, I've never seen that
Me
at
either.
all.
Me either. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
It's healthy.
So
It's not
so
healthy, but it's okay.
so if I went, so here's the thing. I never seen my mom and dad argue. So when Shamika and I got into our first, like, like this is like our first knockdown, drag out argument. I was so, now first of all, it was her fault. Let's start there. And she said something.
What did I
I
say?
says, I don't know what it was. And that's the thing about arguments too. You got to realize, are you going to remember this 10 years from now?
Wait a
If
minute.
the conflict is going to be, if the conflict going to be 10 years, are you going to remember? If you're not going to remember it, you probably don't want to put too much effort and time into it. Like, it's like, don't worry about it.
Is this the argument where you put me out the car?
No. I didn't, first of all,
I
I
just
didn't
want
put
to
her
throw
out the
that
car.
threw him under the bus, y'all.
She
We
got
done
out
been
the
through
car.
some things.
She got out the car.
I told him
No,
to
no, no,
stop
no,
the
no.
car. I want to get out. He was not supposed to stop the car and let me get out. Put it in the chat if you agree with me. Say, agree with me. He is not supposed to stop that car.
Anyway,
Women say something. Look, it's so funny. They know a lot of things, but then they don't know when we don't really mean
ma'am,
what we. Come
ma'am,
on now.
ma'am.
You know you ain't supposed
No,
to
ma'am.
stop the car and let me out.
No, ma'am, you're not supposed to get out. So here's the thing.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you. You better keep on driving that car. I got a whole corner, Carew.
So I called my dad because I was like, what is happening? Like, this can't be, like, what you doing? Like, I'm doing something wrong, because she said something to me. I said something back, and it blew up. So I called and said, Daddy, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what, Shamika getting on my nerve, da 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 da. He was like, he gave me some advice, and I was like, no, Dad, but you don't understand. She said something, I said something back, and he gave me some advice. He said, okay, do this.
You really holding on to this
I
advice.
said, Dad, no, you don't understand. I'm responding. I was reacting. I'm reacting, but in the conversation, I said responding. I'm responding to something that she did. Gave me the advice. I said, hold time out, because I don't think you understand
What's
what I'm
the
saying.
advice,
I
Patrick?
said, you mean to tell me, if she do this and I do that, I still got to make this particular, I got to do this? He said, if you want your marriage, and at that point he'd been married for 30 years, I think, if you want your marriage, you'll follow my advice. But for me, that was like, whoa, wait a minute. I guess for the first time I realized maybe my parents did argue. They didn't do it in front of me, which is this is another topic for another day. Should your children see, should the children see their parents argue or disagree? I'm not talking about violence, or I'm not talking about abuse.
It's just.
I'm just saying, should they see that disagree? There's some people, sometimes in the barbershop, they'll see, I just read what Maria said. The expectation is that you keep driving. So that there are some people say yes, some people say no, in that. But for me, it did mess me up, because I've never seen them argue. So I don't know
Yeah.
what was
So
going on.
I think that it's definitely the type of conflict that's happening. But I do think that just like children should see their parents showing forms of affection, again, healthy. They don't need to see more than what they should, but they do need to see that affection is being exchanged, some endearment. And so I I agree with they should see you working out a conflict, not a drag out knockout, but definitely they should see you work through it. I'm talking about from the offense, like especially if it's just like just a misunderstanding, a crossing up, and then the apology, and then the makeup. Like all of that is a part of the living experience, and they get to see it by example. And so now I think that with maturity, with the husband and the wife, you will know what is out in the open or what this is just a part of us being in a family. And then it's those this is behind closed doors.
Right.
They sleep or they gone, and we need to handle
Yeah.
this. So I think that it's wisdom in that,
Mm-hmm.
and that goes to another thing. In Proverbs, I cannot remember the chapter, but Solomon was speaking on that it's by wisdom that a house is established. Through knowledge, the rooms are filled, and through understanding, is it established. I think I got it mixed up, but it's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And so once the home is built on those, then love can fill it. But I think where we error, going back to that unrealistic expectation, is we think that love is what keeps it.
Gotcha.
I mean, like that it's built on that. Well, that can go. Love can show up in different ways. Where it could be tough love, it may be a hard time, it may be a good time. But it's like because I love you, I stick and hold out. Stick you through. So yeah, and it's wisdom in it. Wisdom will tell you, okay, this is a time for you to be silent. That's an expression of love. Wisdom will tell you.
Okay.
Wisdom would, and I'm going back to now. Let me slow down. So I'm skipping over to Ecclesiastes, where there's a time to speak and there's a time to keep silent.
Well, it was a
But
statement
no,
that said silence is a form of love. So that's
yeah,
explain
oh,
that.
let me go back. It's an expression.
Ex-
It's an expression.
That's a crazy statement. That silence
Is
is
an
an
expression.
expression
Yes.
of love.
Because
How is that?
sometimes it may be left for you to sit in it and to ponder and to work it out that way versus
What's it? You
words,
said in it.
whatever it is.
Okay.
Whatever, like let's take in this case, we speaking of conflict, unrealistic expectation.
So my silence is really me loving you enough because if I say something, I'm gonna say something crazy. Is that your philosophy?
It could be.
No.
I'm saying so. Wait. Wisdom would tell you whether you should keep silent or whether you should speak.
I got that part.
All right. So now I don't want it to be under. I don't want it to be conveyed that I'm saying that silence is the only expression. What I am saying is that silence is an expression of love, and that it too has to be experienced and communicated. Like
Okay.
everything does not always warrant words.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
And
Now, Maria, don't take your message back. Put it back up there.
and wisdom will let you know when to do certain things. And even the scripture tells the husband to live with their wife with understanding. So it's not that you don't have the answer, and it's not that you couldn't solve the problem, but is this one of these she just trying to just get it out and just let me sit with her and connect with her, kind of like sometimes with grief. I already know that God gonna see
Gotcha.
me through.
I
Just
gotcha.
hold space with me.
I was just trying to understand fly. I wasn't saying right or wrong either. So I didn't want you to get I'm saying you were wrong. I just want to understand the philosophy
Yes, sir.
of why you said
I love
what
it.
you said.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Look at what
And
your
I didn't
friend
take it.
said.
I
Look
didn't
at her.
take it.
Look at her. Look at her. Talking about TMI on the front end. Now, yes, this is man talk only.
Hilarious.
Man talk only. All right. Anything else unrealistic? So the first expectation that creates conflict in the article is unrealistic expectation. Go ahead.
Okay, and then another thing that they mentioned that I do want to emphasize too is that perfection will 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 perpetuate unrealistic expectation. It's like wanting everything to be picture perfect, and it's like that is not that is a recipe for somebody to be hurt and to experience disaster.
Do you think that's the church's fault in terms of Christian marriages? That perfection, like we come in making these unrealistic claims because we're believers that your spouse is gonna be, he's gonna love like Christ loved the church, like she's going to
Respect.
submit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
threw that word in there. Y'all didn't like that
yeah,
one, did you?
yeah,
I threw it in
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so are we are we as the church given unrealistic expectations? Are we
Very
teaching?
definitely
So are we
false in
teaching
some
scriptures
cases.
as if though it's literal
Mm-hmm.
when it shouldn't be a literal statement here. It should be, hey, here's the best opportunity for your marriage to be successful if you follow these kingdom principles. Huh? 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 Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying?
So I would say that it's not unrealistic. I do believe that it is ideal.
Okay.
However, I think where we have erred in the way is that we forget to give the clarity the or the idea that this that marriage or what is being what we're how can I say it,
Can I say something?
that it has to be, I'm sorry, that it has to be fleshed out. For example, yes, we are saved, but we're still in a fallen world and things are going to happen. Like the way that love is developed is through tough times. Like it's through less than perfect conditions. It's bringing the kingdom of God in the earth realm. And so what that means is that there's going to be some sweat by the brow. There's going to be some intense labor. Like it's going to be some things that's going to make you cry and make you want to check out and give up. But I dig in and I lean into the truth of the word of God, the spirit of God, and ask for that fruit to manifest versus trying to modify it and make it just crop up.
I think for me, it's I think we have given guarantees about marriage when we should not have,
I agree.
because we don't understand the condition of the human heart.
Mm.
We can't necessarily say, if you do this,
You're
this is exactly what's going to happen. I will say, if you do this, this gives your marriage the best opportunity for 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 10. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is.
for
For success.
staying alive. And
For you to have a meaningful marriage. Huh?
Patrick,
Huh?
Patrick, stay focused.
Huh?
For to stay alive and to thrive.
I was focused.
I know, yes, sir. Okay, okay, breathe. Okay, for us to stay alive and thrive.
Correct.
And I think that they go now. I'm getting ready to tie into. Hold on, don't go. No, slow
But you-
down,
you-
slow down,
you
slow down.
interrupt me now.
I know. Let me interrupt you. Forfeit your right to be right. All
Gotcha.
right,
Bet.
especially now.
Bet.
Okay.
Bet that.
But I'm thinking about us with the container gardening.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the proper soil, you have the seed, you have air, you have sunlight, you have rain, you have all of the things.
Hold on, Nate. Do me a favor. Pull the camera
Patrick,
back just a little bit because it's on the table and I can see it rocking.
um,
Go ahead.
you have all of the things, the conditions set for to experience fruit,
The whole thing.
but there is a such thing as pestilence showing up. You cannot you can't it's like you know those things exist, but you don't know how it's going to crop up. It's what I'm saying. It's a possibility that even after you water and all of that, it still may experience drought.
Right.
Like it's just things
Like the
that's
sun. I can't.
beyond
We're not.
your
Like the sun is
control.
mad at America. At least it's mad at Memphis.
It's called a sun dome. It's under a heat dome.
And so And so the crops are experiencing extreme drought because of the sun.
Yeah,
That's something we can't,
that's beyond our
and so
control.
therefore the plants are suffering as a
It's
result.
experiencing an intense hardship.
Right.
So that goes back to what you was just saying about marriage. Like, yes, we gave you, you took you got the counseling, you got the coaching, you got your accountability, you got all of the things. You are equally yoked. Everything is all whatever, and then life will happen. I don't know, a loss of a job, or the loss of a loved one, like finances. It could be a number of life things that can throw you into a mental or emotional whirlwind, and you just cannot you can't factor it in. You just don't know. So the best thing that you can do is deposit the truth of God's word in your heart, so that when trouble, not if, but when trouble, trials and tribulations show up, then you won't panic and spaz out as much or
Or as
as
quick.
quick, because your soul has been anchored in the word of God.
I think I wanted to say I think only because I forgot what I said before you interrupted me. So I just wanted to say something else again.
Jesus, help us
Petty
today.
pet is on the rise. All
Help
right.
us today.
So number one is unrealistic expectation. Here's
Mm-hmm.
number two.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about expectations from the Prepare and Rich article that causes conflict in marriage.
Okay. Bless
Excuse me.
you.
Number
Mm-hmm.
two, ingrained expectation.
Okay.
Some of the sneakiest expectations are the ones we don't even realize we have.
Okay.
They've been imprinted upon us through various means, whether it's what we observed
Mm-hmm.
and internalized growing up, what society and culture tells us is acceptable, or even our own personal desires and perceptions. If you've ever found yourself getting upset about something and you're not even sure why, consider whether it's related to an ingrained expectation you're holding. Maybe you think holidays should be celebrated with specific traditions, believe finances will be handled a certain way in your marriage, or have a clear idea about the correct, quote unquote, order of milestones as a couple. When ingrained expectations are not met, it can spark emotions that seem to come out of nowhere and that can cause conflict in your marriage.
Yeah.
So, only because they said it, I, I, I thought it as well.
Mm-hmm.
That in terms of milestones for marriage,
Okay.
it's like we wait for the silver marriage for renewal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting till the 25th marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, why can't I do it on the 11th marriage?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
That's an ingrained expectation. So if I'm waiting on the 25th and we don't make it to we don't even make it to 21, there's a hurt that happens that even if you do get married again, now you're kind of looking sideways or whatever the case may be. Or here's the one I hate. Here's the one I hate. That I have to wait for this may I'm gonna get in trouble with women. That that anniversary, or I might get in trouble with me. That anniversary is that's the time we're supposed to, you know, um, celebrate our wedding. You know what I mean? Like it has to be this day, and this is our wedding anniversary, and we got to do it big. Well, I might not want to do it big on our actual anniversary. I may want to do it big the month following, or we can do something on our anniversary, but it doesn't mean we have to do something grand that particular day. You feel what I'm saying?
If you want to stay alive,
I'm just saying, even like so, like even for like Valentine's Day,
no,
why?
I'm wait. I'm getting ready to tell you. I'm getting ready to
Why?
tell you. I'm getting ready to tell you.
That's not even like what does that mean? Like, would you get your wife a Valentine's Day? nothing. I don't wait until Valentine's Day to show her boom, 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 boom. So therefore, when Valentine's Day comes, she doesn't have to expect something that's ingrained in her mind that on Valentine's Day you have to go out and spend this ungodly amount of money.
Ungodly
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah.
Mercy, Patrick.
Just throwing something out
Ah, it seems like you've been holding on to that for a minute. Okay. Definitely, definitely for sure.
there. Definitely for
You want to make sure that you communicate that with your spouse so that if they have an ingrained expectation
sure. Mm-hmm.
and you feel like that ingrained expectation is unrealistic, then that is again communicated so that no one will be hurt. A lot of times when expectations have
Amen.
when e-
Amen, Maria.
when expectations have been dashed,
Mm-hmm.
it's 9 times out of 10 a result of someone failing to communicate because it's like, hey babe, I don't want to really get into, I desire to celebrate you on Valentine's Day. However, I would rather do it the weekend before or the weekend after or the month after or the weekend. Like it's something that's communicated. But I believe that the hurt comes in when you have not met an expectation at all. Like you don't have a receipt book of meeting expectations and
Gotcha.
coming through. So now I'm hurt because you could have at least jumped on a wave when society say acknowledge me. But
Mm-hmm.
then you decided not to do it before, after, and you putting me off because you haven't prepared for it. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
things that can be done
All right.
where you can just enter into that vein of let's just, acknowledge.
So you're saying that the months prior to, I haven't done anything to celebrate you as a wife and a mother. I haven't done anything.
Hmm.
And so when Valentine comes, I bring up the it's a man-made holiday in a way, but
It's
but
a
yeah,
cop
but
out.
but
Yeah.
you haven't done anything before, and typically you never do anything afterwards. So now, but still, there's an ingrained expectation that you had that has caused conflict with us, and I haven't communicated my expectation or my ingrained expectation that I believe we shouldn't do this on Valentine, like those things.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay.
And I know we're talking about, like, I know you mentioned like wife and mother,
Mm-hmm.
but that is also is a double-sided coin. That's for husbands and dads too. And I know that I have heard that in the barbershop where it's kind of like Father's Day is the forgotten holiday. Like
It
the
is
restaurant's not going to be full, and that's to me
open
that
table.
to me that's not cool. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I believe that dads that are there need to be celebrated often,
Mm-hmm.
even and it's from y'all side. So
But
if
that's my point though. My
mm-hmm,
point is, don't wait to Father's Day to tell me, to show me, or to
celebrate, acknowledge it.
celebrate
Yeah,
me
I understand.
as a good father. Like you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to wait to that day, and that's the ingrained expectation, is that at least something on Father's Day. And then there's nothing on Father's Day. Well, I'm saying you don't have to wait till Father's Day. That's an ingrained expectation that has been placed on us, that society has said you have to show the husband or the father on this day that he is appreciated. When we're saying as men, man, show us regularly. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Don't wait until the day. Now she said something that's good too in terms of taking out the trash. That's an ingrained expectation
for women,
for men
to
to
the
have to
woman.
take out the trash.
Uh-huh.
And dude probably grew up, especially if he'd never been around a man or haven't been to the barbershop, because they don't go to the barbershop anymore, that another man would say, man, do you take out the trash? Because he's at home with a single mom. And the single mom may be taking out the trash too, because she's tired of telling the child. It's just so many things that can go a certain way, that there's an ingrained expectation, because she saw her dad take out the trash, that she gets with a guy who doesn't understand that he doesn't take out the trash, and he on this red pill stuff talking about, well, me and the women made the same, and you could take out the trash. If I could take out the trash, you can't take, like, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? And so now you have another issue that's happening in the marriage.
I love what Maria said too. These are things that need to be discussed during courtship.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, as much as you can, you eliminate the conflict through communication,
Mm-hmm.
because this is what you came in knowing what I
Mm-hmm.
expect, and I knew what you expected. So it's kind of like we're going to share the load of taking out the trash. That it's not like me obligating you, but by the same token, it's like, you know what? I'll make sure I take care of those outside stinky things. I'll
Mm-hmm.
do that. Why? Because I love you and I really don't want you to I don't want you to do that if you don't have to. However, if you see that I had a hard day, don't hound me about
Yeah.
the trash.
Yeah.
That's where you come in and you carry the load. Help me out.
Yeah. I was
And
just about to
so,
say that. If he
yeah,
come home and you see he's had a bad day, and he said he was gonna take out the trash, and he just when he get home and he's just like, I'm just baby, just
it's a
give me
bit
that.
much.
You
Life is a
know,
bit much.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
help him out. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
And
And
they
I
go
I
back.
got you, boo. Lay down now. You good. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that go back even to the inverse. So if the wife comes home, if the expectation has been where
She need to
she
take out the
make the
trash.
wait a minute, hold on. That's not what I was about to say, sir. But it's like if the expectation is that, she cooks.
Mm-hmm.
And so if for whatever reason she had a hard day, like it's okay to say, you know what, the sandwich is okay. Like, or whatever, like I got it today. So that means you is step into whatever that responsibility is, not taking over and assuming a role, but it's like my role would still allow me to serve you even from this place. So me cooking or you cooking does not mean that you are taking away something that I enjoy. It's that hey, we bearing the load. We are bearing one another's load, and I think that that's what marriage and life should be about.
Yeah. All right. All right. Here's the last one.
It is.
Yep. It's only three.
That was good.
It's good. All right. Here we go. So you have unrealistic. I think that should be number one. Number two is ingrained expectation. And then number three is silent expectation.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are, so here's what the article says. Sometimes we're very much aware of the expectation we have, but we don't actually communicate them to our spouse. Instead, we hope that they'll read our mind
Come on, mind
or
read.
figure out what we want on their own,
Yes.
then feel disappointed or upset when they don't. Maybe your spouse asks, what do you want to do for your birthday? You gave a vague, non committal answer. In reality, you know exactly what you want to do. But when your spouse doesn't plan everything, you're annoyed and disappointed. Sure, it's nice when your partner just seems to know exactly what you want without having to spell it out. But realistically, this is unfair to both of you. Be clear, be clearly
By clearly.
by clearly communicating expectations, you give your spouse the best chance of meeting them and yourself
What
the
the
best
world?
chance
What is
of
going
not
on?
feeling let down. Speak about it,
Yeah.
Shamika.
Now listen, I'm just gonna be
Tell on
honest.
yourself.
There are times when it's like you just silent and you are and if I could be real honest, the silent is not because a person is automatically like withholding on purpose. It's just a dream. I know it's like you could dream silently, like it's a thought that you may have. Hold on, breathe through it.
Keep going.
So, and I want to say that I think that the silent expectations come from, again, the unrealistic and ingrained. And so I won't tell you what's on my mind because I want the surprise. But then it's kind of like, is that fair? Like this article clearly communicated that's unfair to both of you. That's a recipe for a disaster. You're going to get hurt. However, there is a possibility that you very well may be surprised because your spouse may come through. But that's the risk that you run if you choose to remain silent with what you expected. And so, is it to say that you wrong for dreaming or wanting a desire to be done without you saying it? No. But then you need to know that it's a possibility that you may not get it because you didn't say it. Also, if you say it, it's a possibility you may not get it because realistically it's not feasible. So I think that if I could say with all three of the expectations that have been communicated, if there is a glitch in the communication where it's not fully being articulated, if it's not if you don't know if you don't know if there's no talking being done, it's a guarantee you're going to end up disappointed and hurt.
So just like Maria said, communicate, communicate, communicate. Um, you and I actually discussed this on another podcast because you was giving, I, I won't say it was bad advice, but
It was edgy,
it
like
was
it
it
was
was
expressed.
dangerous advice. I when I say dangerous, it was advice that should have came with the warning.
I remember that too. I think I did.
And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. That I was saying, well, if you want your husband to do something, tell him. And you were saying, well, just you can tell God. You don't have to tell your husband,
I
and
thought that's
because it's happened for you before, and so we're not knocking that the husband, if he's in continual prayer or communication with God, that God won't give him. So I'm not saying that won't happen, but I was trying to hopefully convey that that's a danger zone based on this. That's a silent, I didn't know call it what it was, but that's a silent expectation to have on the husband that when he doesn't come through, then you're mad. You know what I'm saying? And you maybe he ain't hearing from the Lord or whatever. I don't know, but it could have been resolved if you've just expressed to him, hey boo, for Valentine, I really want to go out this Valentine. Okay, cool. You know how I feel about Valentine. I understand, but if for me, would you do this for me? I would really like to go out for Valentine this time. Okay, babe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then he can go pray to God, and God be like, yeah, take her. And then also when you take her, make sure you take her to Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? For Valentine, and enjoy yourselves. There you go.
Because I mean, listen, it's so interesting. It's all in order. Chick-fil-A is in order. Ruth's Chris is in order. Like the fancy restaurant, it's all in order. But at the end of the day, like we said, it's all about the doggone communication. Baby, you want to go out, and then mind you, if you hold it in the day before, you've been silent dreaming, and then the 13th come, and then you say you want to go out, but then the bills are due. And it's like it's just so much. Are you okay with us going out having a picnic? Like we may modify still, and we still not necessarily giving in to the ingrained notions that society puts on us that it has to be this 10-star restaurant and all of the things. It's like, no, even if we don't necessarily go out, you can set the tone in the atmosphere for it to be one-on-one, for it to be romantic and intimate. And so that's the part where I believe whichever spouse, we are looking for the expectation of being loved and being respected. How is that fleshed out? This is through us living each and every day and paying attention to the ebbs and flows, and paying attention to how we can love and respect one another without unrealistic expectation, without ingrained impacts from others, as well as us having this silent dream that, hey,
Oh yeah, she did. My fault. Leslie said that. I'm sorry.
okay, yeah. Well, with those things that are done, because sometimes we will, I think, and this is taking us a little bit further, but I also think that silent expectations are formed due to disappointments because I'm afraid, or a person may be afraid to express it because they have had so many dreams deferred.
Interesting.
So it's like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to take this to the Lord, and then if it is his will, it will happen. This is my safety net from getting hurt. Now,
But then you still get hurt because if it doesn't happen,
it depends. I'm getting ready to tell you why.
mm-hmm.
It depends. Now, if you are in a real, and let me say for me, um, I would say that expectations has been one of my personal I don't know what that is, but it's been a personal to me because I have had expectations not just of you, but even of myself and from others that it just wasn't met. And so it's a sadness, it's a deep disappointment that results. And so it's like, you know what? I know who would never fail me. And so I go to the Lord and tell him. And so I trust that if it is your will, I will get that thing. If it is not, I have made peace about it. Now I am learning. You know, I'm just telling you that's how I think. Now I'm also learning that it's unfair to not communicate it with you to give you a chance to do that and feel the same way that if you don't come through, then it's okay. Like you didn't mean to hurt me. Like if you say no, or if let's go back to if you say, you know, I thought about you and I brought you a Big Mac. I'm like, a Big Mac? I don't know. But it's like, fix your attitude. The point is that he was thoughtful and he know you like Big Macs. Even though you had a taste for, I don't know, a Jersey Mike sub sandwich. But it's like you still got
Right.
you still was thought of, and you still was given what you liked, even though it wasn't what you had a taste for. So it's like still celebrate the idea that you knew I wanted a sandwich. You felt that, but you just got me a Big Mac because that was in your budget. You didn't have it for a giant Jersey Mike chicken sub Philly, number
Gotcha.
42.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I, I,
I hope I
I still,
communicated that well.
I still think, like, you should pray to God. I got you. And I'm with you on that. I still think that God gives us the knowledge and the wisdom to communicate with our spouse
I
what we
agree.
need.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree.
You know,
I
going to God, I mean, because you should still go
he
to
said,
God.
"Girl, God,
You still should go to God all the time, but then I think there are some practical things that God allows for us to have with one another that is not always this what just waiting for the clouds to move and a rain come from the cloud
yeah,
the size of a man's fist. Like it may be,
yeah,
hey, hey, let's go out and put the sprinkles on. I
yeah,
don't know. You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So
Now that's the part where it's a matter of how you are stretching and exercising your faith, because I don't think that either is wrong. Like God shows up in the miracle as well as in the practical. And I think that for us to try to box him and to just stick him with the way we think that he want to move and operate is unfair. And so if I could say that would be the same with these expectations. It's like I have a desire, and I'm not wrong for having this desire. Lord, I want to give it to you when it's the right time to tell it to Patrick. You know. And then the other thing is when I talk to the Lord about this expectation, he'll let me know if it's unrealistic. He'll let me know if this is ingrained. He'll ask you why you want that. Is it because you're lacking something? Is it because you're being greedy for something? Or is it really because this is a genuine, legitimate desire of yours? And it's nothing wrong with it. But it's about us checking our motives as to why. Is it so that you can flex and flaunt? Or is it because this is really something genuinely you want to delight and enjoy? It's nothing wrong with that. And so that's us keeping our expectations in check. This for me, it's like when we go to the Lord when I go to the Lord in prayer, it's me keeping my heart in check with the one who created my heart. Why? Because it may seem right to me, but that thing may end disastrous. And so if God say, I know you want that real bad, but now it's not the time, or you're not prepared for that. So then I can say, Lord, search my heart and know it. Like search me, know me, and try my thoughts. Like test my attitude. Like am I starting to be a entitled child of God? Like, is that even a thing? And it can be. Where he gonna blame my daddy. He own a cat on 1,000 here. I can get whatever I want. Well, wait a minute. I'm not giving you that because now you becoming like you. Like I have to. I'm gonna be your daddy whether I give it to you or not.
Right.
And the cattle is still mine, and the hills.
Yeah.
It's those things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Another thing I want to say, because for some reason I feel like um, the article could bring out a point where people may think um, it's not the job. This is real good. Like it's not the job of the spouse to please their spouse. You know what I'm saying? He said, well, I heard, I think Will Smith said one time, Will Smith and his wife, forgot her name. Um, what's her name?
Jada.
Jada. They was talking about, well, it's not his job to please me. So what that, I get why they may have said that because there was an expectation that wasn't fulfilled
Maybe unrealistic, ingrained,
or
silent.
silent.
Mm-hmm.
However, within reason, the scripture does tell us that, so Paul is encouraging people to stay single so they can throw themselves into the ministry. And so it's not like it is today. Like they really are trying to get this message to non-believers and to the Israelites because they have been following the law for righteousness' sake. And so now they're trying to let them know that we don't have to do the law for righteousness, that the righteousness with God is in Christ and Christ alone. And so it's all about getting the message out. It has nothing to do with living, get back to eating, living on top of the world, none of that kind of stuff. It's just, man, let's get this message because we don't know when he's coming back. We just saw him leave, but we're not sure when he's coming back. So there's an urgency to tell everybody they know about the love of Christ and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so Paul is trying to encourage people to stay single so you can throw yourself into the ministry. He said, however, if you get married people have to be concerned about how they, and I'm paraphrasing now, how to please God and the things of the world, how they may please their spouse. So if there is a pleasing, the husband has to find out, how do I please my wife? And the wife has to find out, how do I please my husband? So there is a finding or figuring out, how do I please you? How do I meet these expectations
How do you
as
meet
best?
needs?
Yeah, how do I
And
meet
grant
these
wants. Yeah.
expectations and needs as best as possible as your husband? And how
That
do
is
you do the same
reasonable.
thing
Yeah.
as my wife? And
That's so
so
good.
because the text, and that's just me, I do. I'm a fanatic and a fool for the scriptures. And the scriptures are the foundation for everything that I do. And I am, and nobody can take that away. So for me, it's as believers, yes, as believers, as a believing husband, yes, it is your job on finding out how you can please your wife. As a wife, yes, it is your job. As a believing wife, it is your job to find out how you may please your husband. Now, again, and I say within boundaries because if they're asking for something that's outside of the law of Christ or the will of God, the answer is automatic no. That I'm not doing. That's not God. That's not God. So in that, I don't have to do that part. And so therefore, I'll lay that there.
Yeah. This may take us a little bit deeper, a little longer, but especially if you are a spouse and you choose to neglect meeting those needs, then that is a recipe again for disaster because you are neglecting to do what you are responsible for in their role as a husband or a wife. You are to protect, provide, and give godly attention to. And as the wife, you are to respond to those with respect and honor. Because I receive these things, this is my response to that, to my husband. And so if you choose not to do that, and you leave those things unattended, that mean that you're eating the bread of idleness, then guess what? Your spouse is gonna get hungry. You're gonna get weary, and you're gonna go venture off. And so it's so important that as husbands and wives that we don't neglect our role, our God-given responsibility to do the part that God has called us to do. And we are to again ask him for wisdom, knowledge and understanding, discretion and discernment on how to do these things out. That it's not something that's ingrained, that's put on us that this is what I have to do. There are times, one in particular that I'm thinking about is even like the role of the wife staying home and the husband going to work. Well, it may be a time where the wife go off to work and the husband stay home. That doesn't mean that God is frowning upon that. So it's like you get to exercise wisdom and work that thing out. That's where there's space for grace. Um, and so then there are times where both spouses may be working and someone may help with the children. If there are children, again, it's that space for grace and you exercise it and you keep sharing the load. It's you helping each other. It's no one being left alone to carry out the responsibility of marriage on their own. It's a two people becoming one carrying this heavy assignment out because it's a loaded assignment.
Right. Yeah, but it's a great assignment.
Yeah, it's not
So
loaded
yes,
in a bad way.
I think that answers the question you asked Maria about, does it boil down to mutual service? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
And everybody has to know what they're good at. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And what their strengths and opportunity for improvements are, and yeah, go with it.
Yeah,
Good.
because there are times where at the end of the day, it's like, I know that you're expecting that, but that just seems so far fetched to me. And just be patient with me and help
Yeah.
me to get,
And
get there.
if your spouse asks you, tell them.
Yeah.
Like, you need to figure it out for yourself. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just, I'm asking, I don't know. Why you don't know? I was, I want to say that. Yeah.
No, no.
That's a dude. I ain't gonna get the names. I went to go sell a life insurance policy to a man, and he called and asked his wife. He called her up front and asked her what was her social security number, and she just went in. You don't know my social security number? Why you don't know my social number? We've been married for so time. You supposed to know my social security number. Why you know my social security number? I know yours. Why you know mine? And just going on. I said, ma'am, stop. No, he don't know it. Nagging him about it ain't gonna make him know it. So anyway, if we ask, ladies, just tell us we don't know. And if you got something to say, put it in this journal. You know what I'm saying?
Clock it. That was good. Hilarious.
Get you one of these journals
And tell it all
and
about
tell it all.
Hilarious.
And then leave that section open for him to read so that you can help you all's marriage be meaningful in this meaningful marriage journal. Description is the link to get yours is in the description box below. You'll see Meaningful Marriage Journal. You'll see the thing. Click on that. Put your email in there. Take you straight to the place where you can get their journal.
And it'll be delivered right
It'll be
to
delivered
you
right to you. Listen.
without a pen.
Right.
So make sure you get a pen.
Buy a pen.
So you can write.
If this video, if you found value in this video, make sure you send it out to somebody. Send it to a lovely couple that you know of. Share it with them. Share it on your Facebook channel. Share it on your Instagram if you can share on Instagram. Share where you think it can be shared. And let
Share it in
somebody
your
know.
contacts.
Share it in your contacts.
Share it.
Let somebody know that his wife or husband was on. I think we'll be back next week. Hit the notification bell so that when we drop new videos, you'll be the first one to get to it. All right? We love
Take
y'all.
care.
Take care.
Love y'all. That was good, Mr. Harrington.
Thank you, man. What a day,